In 2016, few could have predicted that a businessman and television personality would rise to the most powerful position in the world. Donald Trump, with no political background, entered the presidential race as an outsider. His rhetoric was bold, divisive, and unapologetic. As the election progressed, his populist appeal grew, striking a chord with millions of Americans who felt disconnected from the political elite. His win in November 2016 stunned the world, and suddenly, Donald Trump was set to lead the United States into an uncertain future. What would this unconventional leader mean for the country? Trump's presidency began with an immediate challenge: how to unite a deeply divided nation. His inauguration speech was marked by fierce rhetoric, declaring a new era of America First. His supporters saw this as a long overdue return to traditional values, while critics feared it would lead to isolationism and division. Within days, Trump issued a series of executive orders, including the controversial travel ban targeting several Muslim-majority countries. The response was swift and intense. Protests erupted across the nation, and legal challenges followed. It was clear that Trump's presidency would be anything but predictable. One of the most significant moments of Trump's presidency came when he focused on reshaping the American economy. His administration implemented sweeping tax cuts, reducing corporate tax rates with the goal of stimulating growth and job creation. For many Americans, these policies were seen as a much-needed boost, but for others, they sparked concerns about rising income inequality. At the same time, Trump sought to renegotiate trade deals, notably with China, challenging decades-old trade practices. The resulting trade war created uncertainty in global markets, leaving many to question whether Trump's economic policies were sustainable or merely temporary fixes. Trump's foreign policy was another area where his unpredictable nature became evident. His approach to global diplomacy was vastly different from his predecessors. In his first year in office, Trump made headlines with his unorthodox relationship with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. The world watched in disbelief as the two leaders met face to face, marking the first time a sitting U.S. president had engaged with a North Korean leader. While some saw this as a groundbreaking step toward peace, others feared it was a dangerous gamble. Was Trump's approach to diplomacy a masterstroke, or was it too risky? As Trump navigated his way through international relations, his approach to immigration quickly became a flashpoint. One of his most contentious moves was the construction of a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. Promising to build the wall became a central rallying cry for his supporters. However, the wall faced legal challenges, political opposition, and a government shutdown. The debate over immigration reform reached a boiling point, and the country was divided once again. Was Trump's hardline stance on immigration protecting America, or was it tearing at the fabric of its core values? Trump's presidency was also marked by his controversial approach to climate change and environmental policies. In 2017, he pulled the United States out of the Paris Climate Agreement, a move that drew widespread criticism from environmental groups and world leaders. Trump argued that the agreement was unfair to the U.S. and would harm the economy. But as global temperatures continued to rise and natural disasters increased in frequency and severity, many wondered if his stance was misguided. Was Trump's dismissal of climate change a short-term strategy, or did it have long-term consequences for the planet? The turning point of Trump's presidency came in 2019, when a whistleblower's complaint about a phone call between Trump and the president of Ukraine led to his impeachment. The accusation was that Trump had pressured Ukraine to investigate his political rival Joe Biden in exchange for military aid. The impeachment trial dominated headlines, splitting the nation once again. In the end, Trump was acquitted in the Senate, but the controversy left deep scars. His actions raised critical questions about abuse of power and accountability. Could his controversial decisions have lasting effects on America's political landscape? The 2020 presidential election marked the culmination of a bitter, divisive political era. Trump, facing off against former Vice President Joe Biden, campaigned fiercely on his record, but the country was deeply polarized. As the pandemic continued to ravage the U.S., Trump's handling of the COVID-19 crisis became a focal point of the election. Many believed that his downplaying of the virus and mixed messages to the public cost him critical support. The election results, with Joe Biden emerging victorious, led to violent protests and an insurrection at the Capitol. Was this the end of Trump's political career, or was there more to come? Despite the election results, Trump remained a figure of enormous influence. His supporters continued to rally around him, insisting that the 2020 election had been stolen. He remained active in politics, endorsing candidates and shaping the Republican Party's future. Trump's influence over American politics was undeniable, even as his term officially ended in January 2021. His presidency had forever changed the political landscape. The question now was, what would the legacy of Donald Trump be? Would history view him as a transformative leader, or as a divisive figure who fractured the nation? As time moves forward, Donald Trump's presidency will be remembered as one of the most turbulent and transformative periods in modern American history. His actions and policies will continue to spark debate for decades to come. Some will view him as a visionary who put America first, while others will remember the chaos and controversy that surrounded his time in office. Regardless of one's political stance, it is clear that Donald Trump reshaped the nation in profound ways, for better or worse. How America moves forward in the shadow of his presidency will be the ultimate test of his legacy.